Hey, what's up, guys? It's Apollo Uchiha here, back with another part of What If Naruto Was Turned into a Girl. Uploading this part because I am feeling extremely ill due to the vaccination, I guess. You can say the side effect of it. I honestly kind of don't recommend it, but the government forces us to. Well, I hope you guys are safe. Anyways, if you haven't, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. And without further ado, let's begin. Chapter 6. Naruto exited the exam room, and Sakura saw the blonde was betrayed. Pervert, she heard the blonde mutter, and the annoyed doctor walk out. Get back in that room. No. Yes, move it. No chance in hell, Naruto said. Get your skinny ass in that exam room, or I'll make you, Eboshi said, with a snarl. You couldn't find a wet dream around Kakashi, Naruto said, crossing her arms over her ample chest. Where are my clothes? The blonde said, looking at the others. She didn't get far as Abisho reached out and grabbed her by her pigtails and dragged her back to the exam room, kicking and screaming. The door slammed shut and glowed as Abisho activated the security seals. Sakura looked at Asuma. What was that about? The bearded Jonin looked at the pink-haired teen like she was insane. And how would I know what goes on during a female exam? Jiraiya off to the side couldn't help but laugh. Sarutobi looked at his former student. Get Tsunade here. And how am I to do that, sensei? Jiraiya asked. She wants nothing to do with Konoha, and you know why. The third Hokage sighed and looked at his former pupil. Walk with me, Jiraiya. There are some things you are not aware of. Sakura watched them go and turned back to Asuma. What will happen to Naruto and I? She asked. We'll take care about that, Sakura. You don't have to worry about that. We'll get both of you up to a par with the training you should have had to start with, Asuma said as he took a seat once more. Sakura started to fidget. She hated waiting. You did well against Ino, despite your lack of training, Asuma said. Sakura shrugged. Truthfully, I didn't do so well. If Naruto... She looked at the door. If she hadn't called for me, Ino would have won. She always does something like that. You're a good friend, Asuma said. No, I wasn't. It took Naruto being transformed from before I started to realize how badly I treated him. Damn it. Her. This is going to drive crazy. Imagine how this is going to be for Naruto. Asuma smiled. As long as we're there and Naruto can count on his friends, everything will be fine. Asuma sensei, I don't think Naruto has any before now, Sakura said softly, but he got me now. And Ino took, I think. Asuma didn't call her on the slip of calling Naruto male. Hell, he thought of the blonde as he still was as well. It would take time for it to fully sink in. We'll be there for Naruto as well, Asuma said. Sakura looked at the door. Why is it so quiet now, when we could hear everything from before? I think the doctor activated the security seals on the room. Oi, where is everyone? Jonin and Genin turned to see Anko with a bag. What took you so long? Asuma asked. Try clothes shopping for a girl that you barely get to measurements for, and let's see how well you do. We're going to need to do major shopping after this. Sakura nodded. Naruto will need clothes and everything. Asuma shuddered. He hated shopping, but he had promised to be there for Naruto, and this meant everything, even things like this. Anko was smirking, but Sakura asked something that been bothering her for a while. Why are you here? Anko looked at the girl and raised an eyebrow. Kaki didn't tell you? Tell me what? Sakura asked. Of course Naruto wouldn't say anything. I'm one of Naruto's watchers. He knows me since he was little. I try to help him when I can, and I'm not on missions. The exam is the first time I've been able to see him in a nearly a year. Anko dropped onto the bench, sandwiching Sakura between her and Asuma. So you're the one who taught him that fighting style, Asuma said, recalling the stance that blonde had taken in the match against Kiba. Yeah, Naruto only uses it once and a while, preferring to keep what skills she said, has under her wraps, quote unquote. Anko said. No, I have Another reason to kill my former sensei. Sakura was confused. If you know Naruto, why? The council keeps interfering, Anko said softly. The Hokage can only do so much. But he's the Hokage, Sakura said, and the pair of Jonin felt sorry for her. And he's one man, an old, tired man who is fighting an uphill battle against our own village to keep Naruto safe and alive. We'll talk more when we're not as exposed, Anko said. She looked at Asuma. I'm moving Naruto into my apartment. The council can go fuck itself. Good idea. All three jumped, seeing the return of the Hokage and Jiraiya. During the coming month, Naruto is going to be getting trained from several teachers. Jiraiya wants to teach her some things. Also, during that time, Naruto will need to learn what is it to be a Konoichi. I can help with that, Sakura said. The Hokage smiled. Abiso will be pleased to, I'm sure. My lord, Anko said, standing. I request reassignment, Anko said, rising from the bench, then going to one knee. While I understand Master Jiraiya is the son in Naruto and I approve, Anko. He looked at Asuma and then Sarutobi males shuddered and shared a thought and came to another agreement. Anko, I am giving you Jonin instructor status. Your team will be Naruto Uzumaki and Sakura Haruno. You will work in conjunction with Team 8, 9 and 10 for higher ranked missions, or borrow a third member depending on mission parameters. Anko smiled at this, while Asuma felt a chill run down his spine, seeing that grin. You won't regret this, Hokage-sama, Anko said. You take care of them, Anko, both of them, Hokage said. Damn right I will, Anko muttered out. Sarutobi knew he should never have allowed the council to keep Anko away from Naruto. The boy has flourished under her care in his early days, but once she was out of the way, the sabotaging of his ninja career began in earnest. Time to fix things, the Hokage thought. The door to the exam room opened and Abisu exited. Do you have clothes for? Anko handed her the bag. She will be out in a moment. The door closed again. Anko sighed. I didn't get her a bra. Wasn't sure of her size. Sakura's eyes widened as Anko looked at her and smirked like a predator that just found a land full of sheep and no escape. You'll help her with that, Pinky, Sakura sputtered. Link break. Naruto rejoined them, dressed in baggy pants and a black shirt, her battered jacket tied around her waist. Sakura smiled, seeing the pout on the blonde's face. What's wrong, Naruto? Naruto shot a look over her shoulder at Abisu, who came out. She, the blonde yelled, pointing at the Hokage's personal doctor. Put dead. She's an old pervert. Abisu shook her head. I had to do a full exam, kiddo. She handed the file to the Hokage. 100% female, and her chakra has stabilized even more. The Hokage looked the file over and raised an eyebrow, seeing something. She's a virgin, and as I said in your office, she's just started her period. I've given her the standard injections that all Konoichi get. She'll need it every 3 months. The Hokage nodded. I've also made me Naruto's primary physician from now on. Now, while you get her clothes and other things, I think it's time I have a nice long talk with the rest of the staff. The Hokage panicked at the thought of shopping and pulled out a scroll and handed it to Asuma. Tell the shops to send the bill to me when they're done. I think it's best if I help Abisu here with the medical stuff. Asuma realized what his father had done, and he knew there was no way now he would be able to escape. Anko didn't help matters either. Don't worry, Asuma. I won't tell Kurona you're spending the day shopping with 3 hot Konoichis. He flinched, and Naruto looked around. 3? You, Sakura, and who? You, Gaki. Anko said. I'm a girl. I've always wanted a sister anyways, Anko said with a grin, putting an arm around the blonde's shoulder. Now, while we're doing this, we're going to set a few ground rules. Ground rules? Naruto asked. Well, you're moving in with me for one thing. The council can go and get a Hokage Tower Enma for all I care, Anko said, leading the blonde away. Sakura followed, still processing that the insane Jonin would be her sensei. Asuma brought up the rear. He looked for Jiraiya, but the toad sage was already gone. Damn, he thought. Reaching into a pocket, he realized he was out of cigarettes. Double damn. In the words of my students, this is troublesome. No boys in your room with the door closed, Anko said. What? Ew, Uncle, I like girls. Naruto voice carried, and Asuma had a mental picture, and with Naruto's new looks and a close as she was to Uncle. The Jonin instructor of Team 10 rocked back with a nosebleed from hell and the thought of the blonde with another female together. He didn't notice Sakura's dribble of blood as the young Konoichi wiped it away and shook herself. Link break. Why do I have to wear a bra? Uncle doesn't. Naruto argued as Sakura handed the blonde several styles of bra. Actually, the mesh I wear is tight enough so I don't need a bra. Uncle said from where she was leaning against the wall. Asuma was outside. He rushed out the minute the girls started talking about bras and panties, and Naruto's comments of, "Doesn't that hurt wearing that?" or that, "Where's the rest of it?" "I suggest sports bras," Uncle said to Sakura. "Naruto's too attractive to wear those flimsy things," she said, seeing the lacy undergarments. "But what about when she's not on a mission or training?" Sakura asked. "I'm sure Naruto won't wear the same clothes all the time." "I have before," Naruto said. "And why can't I have orange?" "No orange. Since we're getting you a whole new wardrobe, we're building you a proper closet full," Uncle said. Seeing the cute pout, Sakura went and came back with several pairs of orange bras and panties. "Here, you can wear these under those dark clothes we picked out." Naruto looked at the clips and then at Uncle. "Why do girls wear such torturous clothes if these are this uncomfortable?" "Hell if I know. If you notice, I'm not the most feminine Konoichi out there." Naruto sighed. She slipped back into the changing room and was quite well until, how do I look these?" Uncle smiled as Sakura closed her eyes and stepped into the changing room. Who would have thought? She said. In the changing room, Sakura froze. "I think I prefer the sports bra. These clapsy are tricky," Naruto said as Sakura was frozen in place, watching the blonde act like a contortionist, pushing her chest out more as she arched, trying to hook the clips right. Licking her dry lips, Sakura had to admit Naruto had a figure that girls her age would kill for. "Hold on," Sakura said, going behind her to hide her blush and traitorous thoughts. She unhooked the bra and saw that Naruto had missed the loop and it only had one hook in. Perhaps we should get you some tube stop instead," Sakura suggested. "Or you could do raps." "Sakura-chan, what do you?" Naruto asked. "That's none of your business." She raised her hand to thump the blonde and stopped, seeing her cringe. "Oh god, I'm so sorry, Naruto." She lowered her hand and backed up. "I'm sorry, it's okay. I'm sorry for asking," Naruto said softly, her back to Sakura. She grabbed a sports bra and slipped it on, then the black sleeveless crops top and cargo pants. Rushing from the changing room. "Naruto, wait, Sakura lowered her eyes. She raised it quickly when Uncle kicked the changing room. "What the hell did you say to her?" the special Jonin hissed. Link break. The blonde had rushed out of the store and only stopped because Asuma had grabbed her arm and pulled her back. The blonde cried into his chest and railed that it wasn't fair, and he lost track after that. She had seemed to speak at a rate that was far too quick. Uncle came out and looked at Asuma. "Pay for the shit on the counter," she said, and took Naruto down to the street. He watched as the woman that Anbu feared was talking softly to the blonde, who shook her head. Asuma entered the store, seeing Sakura at the counter with several bags. "Everything's fine?" I asked. "No," Sakura said, looking away. Naruto asked a question. I felt self-conscious and diverted to how I was and almost hit her. "Kami, I'm such a shallow bitch." "No, you're not a shallow bitch, Sakura. You are a girl that has had to reevaluate all she's known. I'm sure, Naruto, if she wasn't being assaulted by all these new emotions, feelings, and the fact hormones, would be forgiving you, but right now she's on a roller coaster of emotional rides." Sakura sniffled. "I have to change," Sakura said. "I can't act like that. Naruto needs a friend so badly. All she suffered, and then I pulled my psycho self." Asuma patted her shoulder. "It'll work out." He looked at the bags. "We done?" We need hygiene products," and Asuma handed her a roll of Ryu. "No, you can get what she needs." The Jonin shuddered at entering the pharmacy and getting lotions and such, and he pitied Naruto, who was about to get a crash course. Sakura looked at the reel, her eyes widened. We're not getting that much. Get whatever you need. I just don't want to know. Sakura smiled. Never went shopping with Ino? Nope. I leave that to her parents. I bribed Kurenai to speak with her about Konoichi standards as she would know better than I. Sakura sighed. I wish Kakashi had done that. He handed me a pamphlet and said good luck. Asuma closed his eyes, cursing a certain white-haired jonin. I'll have Anko and Kurenai speak to the two of you and spend time answering your questions, he said. The two of you have been ignored and mishandled for so long time already. Thank you, Sakura said. It's okay. Now let's go make sure Anko hasn't corrupted Naruto yet. She wouldn't do that, Sakura said. Oh no, not like that. I mean, taking her drinking and eating dankos, Asuma said. Chapter 7. Sakura was surprised to see Anko's apartment looking so normal. The special jonin must have seen the look as she smirked. What did you expect? Bondage equipment on the walls? Torture devices instead of furniture? No, well, maybe. Sakura admitted. Naruto walked in and dropped onto the couch. The whisker-marked blonde sighed. I hate shopping, she declared. Anko laughed at Asuma followed them, in huffing and puffing, carrying nearly 30 bags between his hands and his back. Ah, Asuma, thanks, Anko said with a smirk. The smoking jonin had made a comment outside the chemist, and Anko had blackmailed him into carrying all the bags while she and Naruto talked and dragged Sakura along. Just put them down there. We'll move them to Naruto's room once we straighten it up. Asuma dropped the bags and sighed as his arms tingled from the loss of weight. I hate you, Anko, he muttered. Anko blew him a kiss and motioned for him to sit. So, Sakura asked as she took a seat next to the blonde. They had been rather quiet after getting hygiene products and her blow-up in the clothing store. We'll need to set up a schedule for Naruto. Not only does she... He, the blonde yelled. She, Anko fired back. You're a girl, Gaki. Get in that cute little head of yours already. There's no going back. Naruto crossed her arms over her ample chest and pouted. Asuma closed his eyes at the images and knew in his gut that blonde was going to be a heartbreaker all over Konoha and not even try it. As I was saying, Asuma said with a deep breath. He pulled out a pack of cigarettes he picked up while waiting, but Anko looked at him, put it away. Not only will Naruto need to retrain her skills, but learn what does being a Konoichi is about actually. Why can't that wait until after the exams? Naruto asked. I mean, I don't want to waste time on useless things like these when I could be getting stronger, Asuma sighed. You need to know your body before you can do anything, Naruto. Your chakra paths are different. Your physical strength is different, as is your balance. Anko's... She is too heavy with those knockers, was heard despite being mumbled. Naruto being Naruto smirked. Jealous mine are better than yours, Anko smirked. You don't want to play the game with me, Kaki. You know I win, Naruto deflated. Yeah. Sakura shook her head. And we also will be doing team training as well. Naruto, Anko's our new sensei and she won't treat us like Kakashi. Naruto mumbled as she looked at the coffee table. You still have this old thing? Anko smiled. Of course I do. You got it and fixed it up. And varnished it for me. I love it. Huh? Sakura and Asuma looked just as confused. Naruto a couple of years ago for my birthday got this table out of an abandoned house. It was beat up and faded. He spent weeks sanding it and then staining it before giving it to me. Kid has a natural with woodworking. Naruto shrugged. Not hard when I had to fix my apartment up all the times. Bound to learn something. Sakura put a hand on her teammate's shoulder. You're not going to be alone, Naruto. Not anymore, at least. The blonde sighed and stood. I'm going to see my room. Anko watched her go down the short hallway. I want to kill Kakashi and the council, she growled. Leave the fossils to the old man, Asuma said. And Hatake? Anko asked. We'll figure something out. Link break. Naruto sat on the bare bed in the guest room that would now known be by his room. He'd stay there when his apartment had been badly vandalized at times and it would take time to fix. Home sweet home, she muttered. Sitting with her back against the headboard, she brought her knees up and hugged them as tears slowly fell as it was sinking in that he, Naruto Uzumaki, was now a girl. Her forehead touched her knees and she cried silently. Link break, Konoha General Hospital. Kurenai stood at the foot of the door. Her gaze looking at her genin was cold. I thought you better than this, Kiba. She said the Inuzuka here was admitted with crushed testicle and was scheduled for surgery the next day. Don't even try to make excuses, she hissed. I informed your mother and sister. The boy winced at that. You will make a formal apology to Naruto? She's been traumatized enough with what happened. And then you do that to her. A fellow canon. Kiba said weakly. I don't know if I can trust you on my team, Kiba, Kurenai said. With myself and Hinata as a Konoichi, it's bad enough we have to expect that kind of behavior from anime and bandits. But from our own teammate, I don't think either of us would feel safe after the display you did in the arena. Kiba was quiet. He knew he messed up. I'm sorry, Sensei, he said after she'd fallen quiet. That's not good enough, Kiba, she said coldly. After you are out of here, the Hokage wants to have words with you. Kiba winced again. I know I did wrong, Sensei, but why does the Hokage? Because he needs Naruto as his grandson. He sees Naruto as his grandson. You need to know this, Kiba. Kurenai roared. You better pray to Kami that the Hokage has calmed down by the time he sees you, Kiba, or you visiting Ibiki might be the least of your worries. Ibiki? Kiba asked, his voice still rather high from the pounding his testicles had taken. The head of the Anbu's interrogation squad, Kurenai answered. The man who ran the first exam. Kiba swallowed. Your actions have consequences, Kiba. Doing what you did against a fellow genin of Konoha on grounds for interrogation to determine your fit as a ninja of this village, add in to who you did it to. Kurenai shook her head. I'll be back tomorrow after your surgery to check up on you. Kurenai said, I had Shino take Akamaru back to your clan house. Where's he getting attention? Kiba silently nodded his thanks to the sensei. How bad is everyone's reaction? He asked as she reached to the door. Kurenai looked over her shoulder. Words spreading, she said. I wouldn't expect many of the females' population to be very nice to you for the foreseeable future. The door opened and closed, leaving Kiba alone to his thought. I did a dumb thing, he thought. He sighed, wincing as his crushed pulse twinkled, as he thought of ways to apologize to Naruto for his behavior. Link break. The hospital staff was down to a skeleton crew. Retired medics were being brought in and after a grilling by Ibiki were allowed to resume jobs in the hospital. It would take a long time before the hospital recovered from she who wouldn't be named. The episode has castrated 6 doctors and punted a dozen nurses over the monument before the Hokage turned it over to Ibiki as it was a kinder form of torture. Link break. Jiraiya stood atop the Hokage tower, his mane of hair blowing behind him. Man, Minato, your kid's got some of the worst luck, he thought as he took a swig of the jug. From the jug. How the hell am I going to explain this to Tsunade? He muttered out. Best finding her and let Sensei tell her. He thought, thinking that would save him from his former teammate's wrath. Link break. Kakashi Hatake looked at the memorial stone and sighed. I've lost them, he thought. Lectures from the Hokage in his office still rings in his ear. He was allowed to train the Uchiha for the finals. And after that, Sasuke Uchiha would be given over to a new instructor and the team. Flashback. That's final, Kakashi, Sarutobi said as he sat behind the desk. Why? Sarutobi looked at him. You asked me that after the way you treated your own students? I've done nothing wrong, Lord Hokage. Granted, I may have focused more on Sasuke, but the council has ordered. And that's another thing. The council has no business in ninja affairs. You deliberately sabotaged Naruto's career by ignoring him. And you did the same to Sakura. I was teaching them teamwork and Kakashi started but was cut off. And giving special training and scroll to the Uchiha. Man, my tongue is slipping. I'm feeling very sleepy now. Anyways, on to the story. My decision is final. Sakura and Naruto have a new sensei that is going to be spending time fixing your mistakes. Kakashi blinked and tried to think of an argument to keep his team. In the end, he couldn't. End of flashback. And now I have just Sasuke for a month. He thought, ignoring the fact that he had been planning on ignoring his two other students to focus on the Uchiha. What am I going to do, Obito? He asked to the stone. It didn't answer him back. As this is where I'm going to be leaving this part of, guys. Today is going to be a double upload, and I think I might upload what if Naruto was in a political marriage next part. Hope you guys enjoy this and that part as well. Anyways, this is Apollo Uchiha and I'm signing out. Peace.